Let's wrap up this episode and get to the action items. So again, this is an abstract concept of momentum that we are going to try and give listeners actionable ways to train their ability to gain and sustain momentum and also stave it off when opponents gain momentum. Do you go to any certain like type of training right away that you would recommend to listeners?
Oh, I think, and this is for more than just momentum, but I think it really pertains to momentum as well. I just go first and foremost with awareness. Like you have to be in a state of presence, as you were just mentioning. You have to be aware of yourself, those dynamics and variables, and your surroundings and the constraints that are put on you, because we all want to win. We all want to succeed. We all want that change that gets us there. But in reality, you can't self-regulate before you're self-aware. You need to see what change you want to make before you can actually make long-term sustainable change. So I really think that some of the mindfulness, some of the taking time to slow down and figure out what your cognitions are doing, how they're impacting your emotions and your behaviors is a really big first step. Slowing down and really taking that ABC concept of, what are the activating events and, that are really triggering me to have these beliefs and thoughts that are leading me to have these consequence outcomes. If you can start doing that and at any point in time just say, okay, I can look at these things, then you're going to have greater levels of success down the line because you're going to be able to start building that resilience and you're going to be able to start implementing more of those stop gaps that allow you to control the variables within yourself and the things that you may not be able to control fully outside in the situation or scenario, but it does allow you to have some influence over. You may not be able to control the referee or the umpires, but the way that you engage them and approach a situation may influence some of what occurs, which is to your benefit or to your demise. That would be one of my first thoughts with it.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Something I like saying very often is awareness is the gate you have to go through before you do anything about your mental game. So if you're going to improve something about your self-talk or train your ability to be resilient, that skill of awareness is very important. And awareness goes back to being aware of, am I in a negative facilitation mindset right now? Am I doing everything I can to catch back up and shift momentum to my side? If so, great. If not, how can I get there? And then on the flip side, am I aware of myself in this positive inhibition mindset of I'm getting comfortable, I'm not doing everything I can. Okay, what can I add to my strategy and execution that will make me better? So yeah, awareness is a great first step.
Yeah. And as you're building awareness, I would say one of the, cart before the horse, like what should I do first? What should I do second? Um, I really think routines are a big piece of you can do in conjuncture with each other. Because if you haven't already, you should be identifying what your routines look like in various situations, and you should be finding control over those variables because that's where the negative facilitation is again. You've had your back against a wall. You can't you can't throw the whole kitchen sink at them. You got to really focus on that one aspect of what's going to get you a step ahead and it's going to move you down the field or across the pitch or whatever that may be. But understanding your routine is a big piece of that because then you can start identifying those variables. You can start doing a little bit more to have control again and put the control where it matters. There was interesting research I saw on individuals who were taking putt shots, and they were from, I don't recall, like 10 or 12 feet away. But they let people just take this shot with the perception of either you are shooting for par or you are shooting for bogey. And the interesting thing was when they aligned it, people shot better when they perceived that they were shooting for bogey because they're already behind the eight ball. They're already like, I'm going to be one down at least, maybe more. So I really have to hone my focus here and what I can control, as opposed to, well, if I don't get par, then par's great. But people were really able to dial in their focus more, is what most of this research showed, and they were more likely to make the shot if they thought that they were going to do it for bogey than if they thought that they had a little bit more room or a little bit more give to what might happen. So I think that that negative facilitation concept again is, what can you structure as a routine? What are those variables that you can take control of? And how can you perceive yourself to always be kind of scratching or clawing or trying to play from behind? Because if that narrows your focus in a productive way, then you're going to more likely execute and get the final end result that you want.
Other ways that I think about using a routine in this way is having a routine, a reset routine that you can use throughout a game, that once you realize that you're thinking ineffectively or not playing your best, and that's vulnerability for momentum shifts, that's when you can have a way to reset that you can use constantly. And then additionally, something that might be even more important when we talk about momentum is a type of routine when there's a big break. So this could be maybe between shifts, like in hockey, or it could be halftime in football and basketball. What type of routine are you going through that is going to produce the most effective mindset and confidence when you go back onto the court or field that can, again, facilitate positive momentum and reduce negative momentum?
Yeah. And you're completely correct there on thinking about what those routines do and making sure that you avoid superstitions in
Oh,
that
yeah.
sense, because quickly that's where it starts to go sideways, where somebody's like, man, but I didn't do this. So now I'm distracted. I added more variables that I'm now thinking about. I'm not in the present moment. It's a superstition if you don't have control over it and it's not something that is working productively for you. If it's just, I need these dirty socks on in order to produce and I forgot them today or I washed them on accident, yeah, that's not really going to align your thoughts well.
Yeah, don't get me started on superstitions. So is there another like tool that you think about, or a quality of mental performance that you would want athletes to train that leads to these more effective momentum shifts?
um, that's a good question.
My
I
mind
mean,
goes to
we
confidence, like
yeah, I
confidence
really think the confidence
exercises.
is that last buffer piece that goes well with it, and starting to put into play that degree of certainty, yes, but also your source of confidence. Where are you pulling it from? And that's I've been here, done this before. If you can have evidence to prove that, okay, I can give myself more confidence there, that's huge. You always want to get it from your coaches and your teammates and other people. That's great if you can pull it in from them. Quite often, observationally, you just see and you feel a degree of comfort, certainty that you can handle this task. You see your opponents and you're like, man, they're a ragtag bunch, but I don't think that they put in the hours that I put in. Now I'm mixing evidence that I can see that really helps bolster my confidence and certainty. And I'm also, taking this observation to add to it. But I really think that the one controllable factor in that degree of certainty, after you get past the awareness of just recognizing where that spectrum is your self-talk again, and starting to prime yourself and your thoughts and aligning those with what's going to get you the outcome. Do I need more energy? Do I need more focus? Do I need to bring it down a little bit? Do I need to have these specific thoughts in mind? That's where you see a lot of people who use music and they're wearing headphones, or they got pods in and they're doing whatever it is because they may be associative or disassociative. Associative, you're focusing on what's going on exactly to control it. Disassociative, I don't want to think about it at all. Let's take that out of my mind and just kind of blank. That way I can not be distracted by these things coming at me. But if you're really targeting confidence, you're trying to find a way to be able to pre-program yourself to be in that present moment the way you want to be in it, so you can reach automaticity, you can get to a level of flow, and you can start seeing the momentum swings work in your favor. Or that resilience, as you mentioned before, something went wrong, I don't know what's happening, I get a chance in between periods or at the half. Okay, now I can reset a little bit. And that can be a cue word I have. Oh, that's my cognitions again. I'm using cue words to tell myself and align what I want to have happen next. If I can do that, my confidence goes up. I get what I anticipated. I have control over it. And I'm more likely to start seeing those variables play out and work for me as opposed to working against me.